Oh my God, it's 7 p.m. on Saturday, December 18th. And this is the Saturday Night live stream, which is unlike anything else that's available on YouTube on any given day or night. Hey Zach, how the hell are you today? I haven't seen you since yesterday. That's a nice nose job you got. I'm certain it's good because it says sure right on your nose now.
It does indeed. Pops, want to kick
Yes.
tonight's show off. A quick thank you to my father. Let me see do I have it pulled up? Yeah, I got it pulled up here. We were on the road this past week and had an absolute blast. I've got the photo right here. My dad treated me to a trip out to Arizona. Can you see that on your screen, Pops?
I can. It says beat
It was
LA, but we sure as hell didn't.
we went to the Arizona Cardinals game on Monday night. We're big football
Yes.
fans, if you don't know that. Actually, we're not really big football fans, but we love the Arizona Cardinals. Pops, it was awesome that you took me to the game. I remember just the other night, I said to you, did I pay for any aspect of that? And you said no. And then I zelled you $1,000 because I felt bad. But thank you for treating me. That was really awesome and really special.
Well, I treated you to the game, to the airfare, to the hotel accommodations, both in Phoenix and in Vegas. So yeah, buddy. Yeah, it was. Yeah, Merry Christmas.
Thank you, Pops. Thank you.
And thanks,
We've got a
thanks,
fun
thanks for the 1,000, by the way.
We've got a fun show tonight. We're going to cover should I buy now or should I buy in the future? Good news and bad news heading into next year. But Pops, before we do, we have a new sponsor, and it's actually a gift for our community because the sponsor, damn it, it's us. Where is it? I should have had it up. I don't have it up.
You-
All right.
you-
Got it?
you-
Everyone needs to do the same thing.
yeah.
JoinYAA.com.
Oh, look at that.
New website. New
Yeah.
website.
Yeah.
What name a car, Pops? Name something.
How about a Alexis NX something or another.
NX? All right. You're
NX,
living your
yeah.
best life. All right. Alexis NX. There
What
you
is
go.
the NX?
Our
I
car
don't know.
search. Our
Oh,
car
look at
search
that.
is
That
finally
looks
live.
that looks exactly like the NX that I was thinking. Yeah.
Let me put in my zip code here because this is still remembering when we were out in the West
Out
Coast.
west, yes.
So car search, YA car search, finally live. A couple of things here, guys.
Yes.
No ads.
Stop
No lead
it.
gen forms.
Stop
Total
it.
price.
No.
My dad's face.
So wait a second. So you get the listing. It has all the information about the car. And then it also has advice and counsel from those of us on staff at YAA. Is that what you're telling me?
And you get free access to the email templates. Click on the 4-step buying guide. Click on email templates. They're right there. Here's a challenge. Here's a challenge for tonight. We obviously, maybe it's not obvious, we have website tracking. Here you
Yeah.
go. For any of our
Yeah.
competitors out there, the past 7 days, 22,000 people have been to our website. For anyone who's interested, there you go. That's the info.
Yeah.
We have real-time tracking on this, okay? My
Yes.
goal tonight, I would love it if the community on the stream could get this number to over 100 and search a car. Because Arash and Vera, who built this amongst some other people, but those are really the two guys who built this. I'd love on a Saturday night to have to frantically text them because it breaks. Sorry, Arash and Vera, but I think that'd be a fun holiday season moment. So if we can do two things tonight, get this number to above 100 once,
Yeah.
and break it. Someone break it. Well, please don't intentionally break it.
Don't break it.
Okay, can you take over? I don't know. I maybe break.
I
it
mean,
with
Arash is away for the weekend, and if suddenly he has to drop what he's doing to fix the listings, I'm just thinking that I don't know, his wife might get upset with him. I mean, so
Yeah,
don't
probably.
just play with it, folks, but don't break it. Which is, if I may say, a rule that you should always live your life by. Just play with it and don't break it.
Well said, Pops. Well said.
Yes.
Okay, Dad. Let's do a quick roll call and then let's hop into tonight's show.
It's why I drove 3.5 hours to get back to the Jersey Shore, so I could do this tonight.
Mike's here with us from Cowtown, which we greatly appreciate.
Is that the home of the Cowtown Rodeo in New Jersey?
Steve's here. Miracle Man's here. Jordan's with us, which we always appreciate. Matthew's here.
Wow.
Keith's in the house. We appreciate that, Keith.
Yes.
Kimberly. Good evening,
God
Kimberly.
bless her. I had such a lovely conversation with Kimberly yesterday. It was such an absolute pleasure to spend a little more than a half an hour just, you know, ruminating about the car business and getting into some fairly good deep detail about F&I and the process.
No, you and Kimberly did an incredible job. I was incredibly impressed,
Oh, wait,
and
wait a second. Wait, go back to the. I want to say bonjour.
that was great.
Yes.
And yes, Kimberly Ray did so great with the tech. Yeah, you really did, Pops. That's over on the Raid section. I'll check it out. Pops, let's get into wow, we got another Canadian
Ooh.
or another
Oh,
French speaking country.
well, no, it's an English-speaking country, but Montreal
It's a
is
French-speaking city.
yes, and we will be there July 1st through the 4th for the Montreal Jazz Festival.
Let's kick things off, Pops, with should I buy now or should I wait until next year? And there's a distinct difference for new and used cars. And I've already seen a couple comments come through in the chat. Are used car prices still going to increase? We have Jared Kalfas and Laura Wehunt coming on the show on Tuesday of next week from Black Book. So we'll get some insights on the used car market then. But Pops, should I buy now or am I waiting to next year? If I have to buy, if I need to buy, I got to bite the bullet, or do I wait?
Well, if you absolutely positively need to buy, then obviously you'll buy. But having said that, you'll do your utmost to find a dealer that won't overcharge. And what I mean by that is you'll find a dealer that would be perfectly content to settle for no more than MSRP, perhaps even a little less. But in today's market, depending on make and model, typically it's dealers are asking for MSRP plus a market adjustment of several $1,000s plus dealer installed accessories. So the hope would be, if you absolutely positively have to buy right now, that you can find a dealer that would charge you MSRP, no dealer installed accessories, and just tax, title, license, and the proverbial doc fee.
And I got one for you, Dad. I'm pulling up my text messages because I got a consult call scheduled with me. We stopped doing consult calls 6 months ago. I don't know, a while ago. Someone found the page to set up a consult call with me, and Sushant, excuse me, was his name. Anyway,
Yeah.
Sushant bought his Subaru Forester today from a
Yes.
dealership in Ohio, and I, since we had the consult call, I was like, if anything comes up, just text me. Like, I'm around. It's a Saturday. I'm just going for a run. That's all I'm doing. And so I got the text here, Pops. Hey,
Yeah.
Zach, it's John from the call at noon earlier today. Got my new Subaru Forester a few hours ago, and it felt like a breeze. The dealership I was working with gave me an MSRP deal, and there was surprisingly limited selling of add-ons, etc. We'll be posting about it on the community forum shortly. Thanks again for your help earlier today. Smiley face. That's a
Wow.
perfect example. That's a
Yes.
great deal.
Yes, that is a fair deal in today's marketplace. Now, having said that, if you don't absolutely need a car, but you want to get a car, my advice would be to try and wait a little longer. Now, we know from the deep dive into microchip land that we did the other day,
I'll pull that up. Yeah.
yeah, that they're not really expecting, as you like to say, the delta to be met until 2025, as far as production catching, or chip microchip production catching up to automobile manufacturing production. So there will continue to be, even though there will be an improvement in the amount of chips available in 2022, it won't be to the same degree that the manufacturers would have liked. So they won't be able to produce as many cars as they would have liked to, but they will be able to produce more than they did in 2021, and they expect that number to then go up again in 2023 and 2024, before 2025 hits, and everything is like back to normal, where supply chain issues for the chips and everything, they can actually produce more chips than would be needed for production. So knowing that there's going to be a continued tight supply,
Yep.
the longer you can wait, if you don't need a car, you just want a car, the better off you'll be.
Now, is that the same, you think, on the used car side? Because obviously used car prices are kind of dictated by what's happening to new car inventory.
Well, if they can't produce as many cars as they would have liked, and this year, globally, they were talking about approximately 11.5 million vehicles that were lost to production. And out of that 11.5 million, about 3.5 million were vehicles for North America, North American production. Okay, so there's 3.5 million cars that didn't find their way into the pipeline to get sold this year in our country, which means that there were 3.5 million less sales. Um, if that number drops down to 2 million next year, well, obviously that's an improvement. And then if it drops down to a million or whatever it is the following year. So until new car inventories can get back to a more normalized position, we're going to
Mhm.
continue to see shortages of pre-owned cars. And whatever pre-owned cars are available are going to be worth more. And they're typically going to be a little edgier as well.
So let's hit on a few data points here. And also, for those of you that are just joining us, the goal tonight, so there's 27 people on the Join YA website right now. We're trying to get to 100. Like, I think that would be a really cool milestone tonight. And search for a car. Let us know what bugs you find. Let us know what you search for. Put that back in the chat. 100 would just be a really neat milestone. I have the
Yes.
data actually pulled up right here, Pops. The average used car price tops $27,000 for the first time. I don't know if you had a chance to look at this. I don't even know if I shared it with you, but this comes from KBB just yesterday, Dad.
You
So
did not you did not share it with me. I did not look at it, but I am not surprised by it.
average used car price at the end of November was $27,569, 27% higher than this time last year, 41% higher than this time in 2019. There was an article, I'll try and find it while we're talking here, that actually started to quantify what your monthly payments would need to be, like broken down by what year used vehicle. It was something crazy. Like if you wanted a monthly payment below $300, you had to buy a 2009 model
Yes,
year
I
vehicle.
remember seeing that. And um, part of the dilemma with the pricing of these cars is it's the 2 to 6 year old pre-owned cars that are increasing in value more than
Mhm.
your older cars. So if especially the 1 to 2 to 3 year old cars with low miles, those that are showing up at auction, a lot of those are getting purchased by your rental car companies because the new vehicle manufacturers have chosen not to sell necessarily to the rental car companies this year with their limited production. So Hertz and Budget and Avis and all those enterprise, they've needed to actually go out and buy pre-owned cars to add to their fleets. And you see more and more complaints about the age and the mileage and the conditions of these rental cars that people are actually renting these days. But you do what you got to do if you're in the rental car business.
And I'm going to pull it back up on the screen, keeping everyone abreast at home. We're up to 40. So thank you, guys.
40,
Appreciate
40.
that. Now,
Okay, we're
Pops,
just 60 away, ladies and gentlemen.
we'll see if we get there tonight. This was the article. It was customers might need older used models to meet budget, which makes sense. And I actually want to talk a little bit here, Dad, about credit and how accessible, credit is right now. Let's just look at some of the highlights from this article. For example, a buyer returning. I'll zoom in for you. A buyer returning to the used vehicle market after 3 or 4 years would need to go back to 2014 model year to find a $400 monthly payment. If I scroll down a little further here, I think it had it in here somewhere. Let's see. If a franchise dealer's customer needs a $300 monthly payment, experience data indicates they need to shop for something in the 2009 or possibly 2010 model year. The average 2009 model requires a $290 a month payment. A 2010 model year requires a $300 a month,
You know what they don't tell you is for how long.
which is a big piece of this because if I go
Yes,
over here, where was it? Here it is.
because I was
Slight
going to
uptick.
say, I was going to say in the olden days,
Yep.
they a bank wouldn't want to finance a 12-year-old car or an 11-year-old car. And if they did, you needed really good credit. And if you had really good credit, they might go 3 years for you, maybe three and a half. Um, but with the price of cars today, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm guessing that those car payments are probably based on around 60 months.
Definitely, if not even longer, Dad. As you and
Yeah.
I know, the average car term is what was it, 69 months, I think was in the
It
latest data
was it
from the
was just
city.
a tad under 70 months. But if it's a $300 a month payment and it's 60 months, you're only paying back, well, not only, you're paying back $18,000. And that would buy you a a car probably that was somewhere around 13 to $14,000 all in with fees and everything.
So
And
let's think about this from the consumer perspective for a second here, and we've got some questions coming through in the chat in terms of what our projections are for the market in the future, and we'll share what we think, but also Laura and Jared coming through on
yeah,
Tuesday
well,
next week are going to
yeah,
be
they
huge.
might have they might have better insight than we do.
Yes, but Pops, let's start to break some of this down to good news, bad news moving into next year. From the consumer perspective, good news, you're probably going to be able to get approved for a loan. Like, doesn't really matter what your situation is, you're going to get approved for a loan.
Yes.
You could also
Yeah.
think about that bad news wise in the sense that inevitably, sometime, eventually, people are going to be walking away from these cars that appreciated 43% over 2 years and they shouldn't have.
Yes. So yeah, the good news is that more and more people will probably qualify for a car loan. The other good news, if you're looking for a new car, there will be modestly more available in during the 2022 calendar year
Mhm.
than were available during 2021. I'm not going to say it's significantly better, but if there's a million more cars that are available,
Mhm.
that would be modestly better than where we were last year, and still far behind where we were 2 years ago.
But still,
Um,
it's good news for
but
next year.
that's good news. It's not great news, but it's good news. It shows a trend in the right direction where some dealers might find themselves with a little more inventory than other dealers, and so they might become slightly more competitive, or they might cut down on their additional dealer markup or their pre-installed protection packages that they're forcing their consumers to purchase.
Mhm.
So those are some good things. The more inventory should be available. Easier lending should become available for more people. But the bad news is that there's still going to be significant shortages of pre-owned
I was going to
cars.
say we've got some good news though, even on that side, Dad. Like again, if you come to this KBB article, they're tracking used car inventories over at Cox Automotive every single month.
Yes.
Used car dealers again for the second month in a row, inventories went up. So I think if I'm not mistaken, September we were at 2.21 million vehicles in inventory. Then they went up about what is that, 20,000 units of inventory in October to or 40,000 units of inventory in October to 2.25, and now up another 60,000 units of inventory to 2.31 million. Now the
Yes.
condition so it's like good news, a little bit more inventory on
Yeah.
dealers' lots. Bad news, condition of those cars getting on those lots really, really not good. And also, the dealers that are holding on to that inventory, since they spent so much at the auction for them or how they sourced it, likely aren't going to be, giving you big discounts in any way, shape, or form.
That is correct. And yes, the good news, bad news is there'll be more. The bad news is they'll be in worse condition than they typically would have been in the past.
And let's do another little dose of bad news, unfortunately. We had some sources tell us that some of the new cars that were produced without chips that were sitting on manufacturers' lots and things like that, they've now been going to scrap. We
Yes.
can't we can't confirm or deny if that's happening, but we've had folks tell us that, and it's not too surprising because you can't just have cars sit in a lot and excuse me, sit in a field forever and not expect any issues to crop up.
Yes, yes, and especially wiring issues because of field mice and things like that that tend to just really love wiring and wiring harnesses And so to start replacing all that stuff, they're just better off. They're just better off, scrapping the vehicles altogether, sending them to the junkyards.
Pops, read that. And then don't let your ego get too big, please.
Kimberly and Ray need their own show. They were great together, like Conway Twitty and Loretta Lynn. Oh my God. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. I I I am Conway Twitty, but Miss Kimberly Klein is Loretta Lynn every inch of the way.
So, Pops, what else goes through your head in terms of good news, bad news for next year? One thing that popped into my mind, we've seen this push and proliferation, into the OTA, over the air adjustments to software and things within cars. So we know manufacturers are moving more towards subscriptions in your vehicles. We've seen a good bit of that in the news, and also MSRPs are on the rise. Those are two that I'll put in the bad news category, because as consumers, it means more money is going to come out of our pockets.
Yeah, ultimately, the ones that always pay are the consumers. So ultimately, yes, the MSRPs are going to go up because the cost to manufacture these vehicles has gone up, and because of the shortages, dealers have proven to the manufacturers that it's possible to get way more than what the manufacturer suggested retail price was. So the manufacturers are thinking to themselves, we need to adjust our MSRPs upward, so that we can increase our profit margin, and we'll let the dealers figure out how they can maintain theirs. So, and then when you add in that all these manufacturers are seeing and thinking that there's huge amounts of money to be made, through software updates and subscription services to software items that are driven in their cars. That's another bad news thing, because the cars will all be equipped with all the same stuff, but all the stuff won't work unless you pay a monthly fee to get it to work. It would be like having cable TV and somebody saying to you, yeah, well, it's an extra $10 a month just to get ESPN. Yeah, but what if I want Showtime and HBO? Well, that's another $40 a month. So that's what's going to happen to your car.
Yeah. Other bad news moving into next year, Pops, and I don't know if you saw this, or maybe we put this in the good news category. I don't know. Where does this fit? Florida is likely going to pull Carvana's dealer license. So where does actually the Carvana and Vroom and Shift, where do they fit into our good news, bad news prognosis for next year?
I'm not sure. I would think that and don't get mad at me when I say this, but I would think, if those companies were to fail, okay, that would be good news. And the reason I say that, okay, is it would help to lower prices on pre-owned cars, because those two players in particular are in such heavy need of pre-owned cars that they overbid them all at the auctions, or they overpay for many of them just so they can have inventory. So they've been some of the largest culprits in driving up the wholesale values of these pre-owned cars, which ultimately drive up the retail values. And the second reason I think that it would be good news is because you shouldn't ever buy a car online. You should drive it first. Not let's make all the arrangements. Let's get all your financing in place. Let's get your down payment. And we'll give you 7 days or 30 days to go drive the car and decide whether or not it was the right car. No, you should go buy a car that you can drive before you buy it, that you can get a pre-purchase inspection done to find out what the issues might be on that vehicle before you ever buy the car, before the loan's put in place, before your automobile insurance is enforced, before the down payment has been shared with the dealership. So personally, I think if Vroom and Carvana were to fail, I think that would be great news. Now, as a consumer, I might not like it as much because it would force me to go back to a dealership. But you're better off going back to a physical dealership that is locally owned and sourced and has to comply with state laws, uh, more so than trying to deal with Carvana and Vroom, who have issues getting titles for the vehicles that they're selling, getting plates for the vehicles that they've sold, so that the customers can drive them legally. And let's face it, Carvana's been in business since 2012. So they've had 9 years to figure this stuff out, and it's only getting worse. So apparently they haven't been able to figure it out. So for those of you that like the concept of just pushing a button on your computer to buy a car, shame on you. If you really want to,
used cars, because I think
used cars. But because if you really want to protect your interests, you would actually go physically drive these vehicles that you're considering first.
But then the question comes up, Pops, and I want to go to the chat here. We got a lot of good questions coming through. But then the question becomes, do you buy a car out of state? Because if you do, then you can't do what you just said, right? Or if you do and you go there and you drive it, then you're already there, and then the dealership can kind of run you around. So
yeah, but if you're going to buy a car out of state, you get a pre-purchase inspection done before you buy it. I believe there's a company called Lemon Squad that if you sign up for a pre-purchase inspection through us, or you tell them you're affiliated with YA.
Do you know? Nope, it's not if you tell them you're affiliated. You have to go to the link. You have to go directly.
You got, so there's a link. Okay, it's not a sausage link. It's one of those www links, and it allows you to get a 10% discount on a Lemon Squad pre-purchase inspection. So you make arrangements to have that done before you commit to buy the car, before you actually fly wherever it is you need to fly, or drive, or however you're getting there. But at least you've done some due diligence, as opposed to when you're dealing with Carvana or Vroom, you're working off of just pictures off the internet. They don't know what's wrong with the cars. All the aggravation you have to go through to get the cars fixed afterwards, to waiting on titles. I don't know. I've said my piece.
All right, let's go to the chat here for a couple minutes. Matthew's hungry. Nicely done.
Yeah.
All right, let me share my screen really quick. We had a couple questions coming through, and I also just want to call something out here. If you're on the car search, which, by the way, you can remove all the filters and you can just see how many cars are for sale within a 500-mile radius of where you are. Down here in the bottom right, it says give feedback. If you find a bug, if you have an issue, anything, please click that give feedback and share it with us. We need to know. So I saw a couple things already come through. Please, please, please let us. But it is kind of cool that let's see. What's the most expensive car for sale? I'm kind of curious. Oh, I think that the team capped it at like $200,000 or something like that.
Oh, wow.
Which I don't know. Hey, the team can do what the team wants to do. I feel like people might want to use this to search for more expensive cars, and we're then whatever. Anyway, so that's one thing. Please use that feedback, and let's see, Pops. What do you think? What number do you think we're at?
We're at 63.
33. Only 30 off.
Yeah, well, I was only off by 30.
So back to our good news, bad news for next year, and then let's head to the chat. I want to toss out another, I guess we'll call it good news, maybe. There's this push for direct-to-consumer sales from manufacturers. Like, that's become so clear and apparent. And many states have regulations that have been, like, carve-out regulations that allow Tesla to do what they do. And we've looked at all the laws and everything. And like, the theme of them is, if you've previously sold cars through a franchise dealership in a state, you can't sell cars direct-to-consumer in that state. That doesn't stop you from setting up a separate company, a separate organization.
A new entity.
Yeah, so that's a theme that I think we'll see more of next year. For example, in California, there's a company, VinFast, that sells EVs. They're opening 60, supposedly, dealerships, in California. So I think we're seeing this push
what is it? Is that like a kiosk?
Yeah, a kiosk.
I mean, what is it?
The classic mall kiosk to buy
your they're going to have a kiosk set up in the Costa Mesa Mall. I mean, what?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, But the thing is, it's like not a dealership because you don't buy the car there. You push the button online. I think directionally that's a good thing. I think it is because the dealership model, you have to pay essentially the middleman. You got to pay the dealership to facilitate the deal. Direct to
Yes.
consumer, in theory, should be a little bit better.
Why?
Yeah, in theory.
No,
Bad news.
seriously, I'm going to ask why. Why is it? I mean, and I know there's people out there that love the Tesla model,
No, you know,
where you go online and you buy it.
you
Okay, and
bring
I'm assuming ultimately it gets delivered to you. Okay, but
You bring up a good point though, Pops, because what's Tesla doing? Reasons we don't like the dealership model today. You have to negotiate and you have to haggle. But honestly, that's going away because most dealerships aren't even allowing you to negotiate or haggle. Although we
yes,
do have an example of a Ram 1500 TRX that was for sale for $150,000 at a Russell Westbrook Ram dealership. So I'll pull that up on the screen in a moment
but
here.
he's not making enough money playing basketball these days, and he's got to way overcharge for a truck.
So new car prices are kind of one price, except there's added on garbaggio. So that's one thing
Yeah.
we don't like about the dealership model. The other thing is really the F&I office, which we talk
Yes.
about a lot. Your interest rate gets marked up. They sell you insurance products that you kind of understand, you don't understand. You end up purchasing them, you finance them, you don't even realize it. Now, what like Tesla's done, Tesla offers extended warranties. Tesla will sell you an extended warranty on your new
Yeah.
Tesla.
I,
Tesla
I,
also is even in the insurance business, Dad.
let
So
me
you'll
ask
buy
you a
your
question.
insurance through them.
Can I ask you a question?
Hmm.
Will Tesla let you negotiate the price of that warranty, or
Can't
they're just
negotiate
going to tell
anything
you this is what the warranty is, this is how it impacts your payment. Either you want it or you don't. And so, yes, there's no negotiation. Yes, there's less friction, but there's typically higher prices to be paid and higher margins that are made. Um, and I'm not, we're up to 50, and I'm not trying to defend dealerships by any stretch of the imagination, because I honestly believe that the bulk of the dealerships out there don't get it. And they absolutely refuse to try and look at the transaction process through the consumer's eyes. And they always look at it through the dealership eyes, with the idea being, well, we know better what the consumers want, when, well, and honestly they don't. Okay, because they don't ever listen to the consumers. So I'm not going to try and defend most dealerships, but if there were dealerships that were transparent, if and they explained the pricing of everything, the markup on everything that they're selling, and why it is non-negotiable, maybe that would work, and almost, or if not better, than manufacturer consumer direct.
Big maybe. It's a big maybe. I want to put it in the bad news category for next year, though, because it's already happening this year. Automakers getting into the insurance space. That scares me. That scares me a lot because that's a whole different business model and it's incredibly lucrative. Look at Warren Buffett. He made his money in insurance, right? Like
Hmm.
insurance is incredibly lucrative. That being said, do you really want like your manufacturer to be tracking everything you're doing in the car and then dictating to you what your premiums should be based on your driving habits? Like, I guess that's better. I guess. I don't know. I'm not ready for that. And I'm the young tech guy. Like, I just don't like that. I peg that in the bad news category moving
Yeah,
into next year.
but auto insurance companies will, if you'd let them, attach devices to your car so that they can see how you drive, so they can um, uh, raise or lower your rates according to how you drive.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, Geico can set that up for me, but I don't want them to know when I floored it to get around somebody and I was doing 93 when I should have been doing 65.
Dad, 93. That's too fast, man.
Yeah, well,
You're
93 in a mini is like doing 133, but that's actually 93 in a
Sir,
mini is really probably 85 miles an hour because their speedometers are off. But that, shh, don't tell anybody.
breaking news. We're trying to get to 100 people on the website at one time, searching for cars to see if we can give the website a chance to not break. No, I shouldn't have used that word before. But anyway, give it a chance. Just go to joinyaa.com. And if you want to search for a car, give us your feedback. It's brand new. Just came out this week. We're super proud of that. super excited about. That's why you'll see me pull this up on the screen from time to time. We're halfway there. I think we can get there, Dad. I really, really do.
And the new web page, the homepage.
That Catherine designed. She did a great
Yes,
job.
yes, absolutely.
All right, so let's answer a couple questions that have come through in the chat. Going to
It
kick
would be
things
my
off here.
pleasure to try.
Someone else is in the office on a Saturday night. Bold strategy.
Well, maybe you two should get together and figure out how to have a life.
These guys are like, "What's he doing?" I do a live stream. Hey, how you doing?
Yeah. What are you doing? Yeah.
Get the hell out of here. That was funny, Dad. Is your warranty company the real deal? Yeah, the like the underwriter, the person who ultimately carries the bag, Assurant American Bankers Insurance Company of Florida. Yeah, check it out. But yeah, our warranty company, real deal. Miracle Man saying Carvana has definitely increased their prices. Dad, that's the whole business model for Carvana, CarMax, Vroom is essentially you can trust us instead of trusting the traditional dealership. We're going to mark up our car prices and we're going to mark up our loan prices, and you're going to enjoy the experience of buying them from us because we're not the dealership, right?
Exactly. Yes. And ultimately they'll get you to pay more.
Yep.
Yeah.
Catherine thinks that, or asked the question, will manufacturers just start selling online? I think some new cars. I mean, Tesla's proven the model, why not?
Yeah, you'll see some.
Tesla is producing a $19,000 car and sidestepping the dealership model. I don't think Tesla's prices are $19,000. They've raised their prices considerably. Craig wants to know if he can buy a car through us. No, because we are not dealers. We don't have a dealer license. Although maybe we should get one just so we can access different things that we currently can't access.
Yes, maybe.
Yeah.
And maybe someday we should open up a YAA dealership.
I don't know, man. That seems like a lot of work. I really don't want to be.
Yeah, well, I've done my best through most of my life to try and keep you out of the dealership. So I don't know if it would make sense for me to get you into a dealership.
Craig wants to know if you're for hire.
I am not.
That's well said.
Yeah. There are enough videos and tutorials that are available on our website that if you study those, you don't need to hire me. You can do all this on your own. That's the whole concept behind what we're trying to do is you don't need us. You just need the information that we make available to you.
Tez Fast wants to know wants to let us know can't beat selling a car to Carvana. Great experience. I agree. Selling to them is a breeze. Buying from them is a bit of a different story.
Yeah, which is why we're looking at situations where their dealer licenses might be revoked.
Yep. Do you have to be a paying member to search for a car? No, not at all. 100% free. And let's do a quick update, quick check. Let's see. I haven't looked. What do you think, Pops? You guessed 63 before.
42.
63, damn it. You should have guessed 63. We're getting close. Everyone go to the website. Join YA. It is 65.
Yeah, look at that. 30. We're 35 away from Nirvana.
What are you going to do if it gets to 100?
What am I going to do?
Do you remember that time that you took your shirt off on the stream when we were in Las Vegas? Do you remember that?
Yes, I do. But it was my back. All you saw was my back.
Remember I turned off the camera as you were doing it so that no one saw.
Yeah, we don't want to sicken the viewers.
68. We're up to 68. All right, we'll come back to that in just a second.
Yeah.
Do you guys say going for a Tesla is a better option at this point if budget permits? Potentially, but we've got federal tax credits coming next year, so I would wait for those.
We have to wait and see if the Build Back Better bill ever gets passed through the Senate, because if it does, then there will be enhanced electric vehicle tax credits that will be available that might not be available right now.
Significant.
Yes.
$12,500 up to $12,500.
Up to, depending upon multiple things.
John says, what about dealers that claim they've done a thorough inspection before ready for sale? Will they have an inspection sheet that you can look at prior to sale? That's a great question, Pops.
Yes, of course they can have an inspection sheet that you can look at prior to sale. And you still want to get a third-party pre-purchase inspection.
Just dig deeper there, Pops. Dig deeper there. Peel that onion a little bit. Can you talk about state inspections are different in every state?
Every state, yes. And when a dealership trades a car, The used car manager tries to evaluate the car, and then the used car manager will write a repair order to have the vehicle safety inspected and inspected for any issues that the service department would recommend get handled prior to putting the vehicle out for sale. Once the technician does the inspection and makes his recommendations, then the service advisor or service manager has a conversation with the used car manager to say, this is what the tech found. This is what he's saying we should do. What of these items do you actually want to do? Used car managers very rarely say, do them all. Okay. And the reason they very rarely say that is because it becomes too expensive for them to do them all. So they try to do as few as possible to make the car as cosmetically and safety wise clean for sale. But a third party doing a pre-purchase inspection can and oftentimes will find some of the things that the tech found and recommended, but that they didn't do, so that you now have a new avenue to negotiate with the dealership once the PPI is done, and they go, well, it needs this, this, and this. Either reduce the price X amount of dollars and I'll take care of it, or you take care of these items before I buy it. So that's why you want to get a pre-purchase inspection done. That's why you don't want to just rely on the inspection sheet from the dealership.
And every state has different state inspections.
Oh, yeah.
We're down to 60. Oh, no, we need a final push. We were so close. We're up to like 77. Again, the goal tonight is 100. 100 people searching for cars on the website at once would be an incredible milestone. Really, really would.
Yeah.
I will do a search. This is going to be your next car, Dad. We're going to get you a Porsche 911. Let's get you a... no, we want 911 year mile.
This will be great because this will be my last car, because once I get in it, I'll never get out of it.
Are there any new ones for sale? No, there are no. Wow. Which I'm not surprised by, in all honesty, because there's so few Porsches available anyway. And they're like gold. They're honestly like gold.
Yeah.
How expensive they are. Jeez.
Yes.
Yeah, you would never get out of that. All right, 68. One final push. Hopefully we can actually get there. Be cool. All right, we've got another question here, Pops, in the chat from Carl. How was Vegas?
Vegas was costly. not as costly as it could have been, but it was costly. I made a donation, a larger donation than I would have liked. But it's always fun to be in Vegas because it's such a fantasy land when you're on the strip. But it was chilly. So we really didn't go anywhere. We spent our entire time that we were there wandering between the Palazzo and the Venetian and Restaurant Row. And you spent some quality time you spent some quality time at Canyon Ranch. And you graciously overpaid for a haircut. And
share the story though, because that was pretty.
Well,
cool.
No, it's your story. You need to share the story. So I'll set the story up. So as most of you know, Zach desperately needed a haircut, and so he makes arrangements to get his haircut at the barber shop at the Canyon Ranch fitness facility, whatever the hell it is. And so he sits down. He's got his mask on, and he sits down. And the guy's asking, what do you want me to do? And so Zach pulled up some of the headshots from when we did the professional shoot when we were in Las Vegas earlier this year. And he pulled up one of the shots that's actually on I believe on our website, is it not?
Yeah, it's a photo of you and me side by side. Pops.
Yes. Yep. And so Zach said, yeah, I mean, this would be good. And he goes, that's not you, is it? And Zach said, well, yeah, I want it to look like that because that's me. He goes, no, it's not. And he made Zach take his mask off. And it turns out that,
He didn't
well,
make me. He didn't make me. I took my mask off, and yeah, Peter, thank you if you're watching this. That was a really surreal moment. Peter happens to be someone who's watched some of our videos. That was the first time that's ever happened in my life. That was a really cool moment. So anyway, Vegas was fun. That was a
yes.
cool moment. It was pretty good.
Yeah, and the good news is the waiters or waitresses in any of the restaurants we ate in, they had no idea who the hell we were, and they didn't know us from Adam.
Pops, we've got a question here from MMSK. Do you get the federal tax credit if you lease a car? It's important that we make note the Build Back Better bill hasn't passed the Senate yet. It likely, I mean, it will eventually, and there will be some form of EV tax credits. What they've essentially budgeted for is up to $12,500. But Pops, what's your understanding of how these tax credits would apply in a lease situation?
Typically on a lease, the leasing company does it as a pass through to the lessor, or is that the lessee? The person leasing.
So that means it would deduct, obviously.
They deduct it off the price of the vehicle, so you wouldn't necessarily get a credit. You would get a reduction in the price of the vehicle by the amount of whatever that credit would have been.
Exactly. Yeah. So the price of your lease will go down, I think, is the key takeaway there.
Oh, absolutely.
Yep. We've got a question here from Alejandro. What's the catch with purchasing a demo car with low miles and sold as new? Can you explain why it's sold as new to begin with? That even a car with a couple thousand miles on it can be sold.
It's sold as new because it's never been titled. What determines whether a car is new or used is whether or not it's ever been titled. And a demonstrator at a dealership, which is usually a vehicle that's driven by the owner or general manager, general sales manager, someone like that, it's not considered a used car until they actually sell it to the ultimate retail customer. And then the motor vehicle paperwork is filed and done. And then that, after you've purchased it, then it would become a used car if you were to do anything with it. Now, typically, you can get a nice discount for the miles that have been put on the car by whoever the dealership personnel was that was driving the car. So yes, you give up some of your warranty because the dealership drove it for 1,000 or 2,000 miles, and if it was a 4-year, 50,000 mile warranty, you'll get 4 years, but you'll only get 48,000 miles if there was 2,000 miles on it. And like I said, there's typically a discount associated with that for them having used it. So yeah, I mean, demos are a good thing.
Couple more questions, Pops. Let's run through some of these as quickly as we can because there's a lot. Here from Nick. Hey, guys, do you have any advice for a fresh off the boat expat looking to lease a car with almost no credit history?
That's going to be a tough one with almost no credit history. My best advice would be a co-signer that does have credit history, so that way you could ride on their coattails in order to get the lease, and you would be the one making the payments so that you would get credit moving forward for having made the payments and taken care of that obligation in a satisfactory manner.
Now, Pops, take a peek at this comment, and if you may, read it out.
Wow, I'm so glad purchased 5 weeks ago. Penske Acura dealership, Scottsdale, and received a very good deal. No worries now. Oh my God, I used to be the new car manager at that store for I don't know, just 10.5 years. Acura North Scottsdale, ladies and gentlemen. I actually started when we were at 68th Street in McDowell when it was just Scottsdale Acura. And then we moved up to the nice facility up at Chauncey Ranch, the Scottsdale 101 Auto Collection, which is one of the most magnificent dealer settings that you could ever find, with some of the finest vehicles for sale from every major manufacturer.
John K in the chat here. I'm in Ontario and no dealerships around me are marking up new cars like I'm reading in this chat. There are some provincial laws that I've read about marking up above MSRP in Canada that do not exist here in the United States. And a perfect example of this, let me share my screen and pull it up for everyone, would be Russell Westbrook. And let's just do a check. Okay, down to 50. I don't think we're going to make it to 100 tonight, but everyone that's checking out listings,
we appreciate it. Yes.
Yeah, we really do. Give feedback. And if you like it, because if you're new here, if you like it, you like the idea of coming on here and getting the total price, getting Miss Kimberly Klein, getting Mario's support. Share it with a friend. But Pops, if I come
Yes.
here to the YA Community Forum, talk
Yes.
about this couldn't happen in any country other than the great United States of America. At Russell Westbrook Chrysler Dodge Jeep, Ram,
Yes.
in Van
Yes.
Nuys, California.
In Van Nuys, California. Yes.
Van Nuys, California.
Yes.
I screwed that one up. Anyway, 2022 Ram 1500. It is the TRX trim. So let me,
Okay.
let's just look it up really quick. Ram 1500 TRX 2022. Let's see. So the MSRP is $73,380. The reason I looked that up, Dad, is because it is so unclear. This says manufacturer retail price.
Well, so maybe there were many factory options that they added to it. First off, to get it to 94,000. So let's assume that is accurate.
Is accurate. Okay.
Yes.
So then there's just $54,480 in
No,
markup.
well, the market adjustment of $50,000, which is more than 50% of the value of the vehicle. Okay. And then to add insult to injury, ladies and gentlemen, theft patrol, which I don't know, maybe that means you're going to have
Wait. Let me read this to you. I want your take on this.
This is here I can read it. A state-of-the-art vehicle tracking and recovery system that utilizes an embedded device within the vehicle. Theft Patrol offers the most accurate vehicle tracking and recovery system on the market. Price includes 3 years of service. 3 years. So what do you do 3 years and 1 day from now? You got to pay again. Oh, and that sounds an awful lot like LoJack. And I'd probably rather have LoJack than Theft Patrol. But Theft Patrol indicates to me that we would have Ponce from Chips riding in the car with you to make sure nobody steals the car.
I love this. Exilian, the paint and fabric is $1,500. JM&A Etch. Kudos to JM&A.
Yeah, Etch.
Those sons of guns are figuring out all sorts of ways to make money.
Well, because the Etch sets you back like $20. And nitrogen tire fill for $495. So a $94,000 car with $54,000 of additional markup. Just Russell, you should be ashamed of yourself.
Down to 41, not getting to 100. That's a-okay.
Okay.
But yeah, isn't that absolutely insane? And so from our friend John, who's here from Ontario, that's what happens here in the States when there's a supply shortage.
Yes. So
not a good scene. Not a good scene. Craig with the nice words here. Love is free, kind of like that is very true.
Exactly. Yeah.
We've got Yomar in the chat asking, since used car prices are so high, do you believe we will see leases available for 2 to 3 year old vehicles?
They already are. And typically pre-owned cars have never leased very well. But you can already lease 2 and 3 year old cars.
We've got a comment here in the chat from Aaron. The dealer I see on the YAA site told me $7,500 markup. Not sure how I could get MSRP from those guys. That's actually a really good point. I want to ask this. If you could reply in the chat, we're scrolling down, so we'll see it in a second. If we had a way to show which dealerships just charge MSRP or don't add on fees or something, would that be something that would bring you a lot of would that be really valuable? I guess is the question I'm trying to ask. So if you can let us know, I think that'd be useful, but I'm curious.
Well, I think it would be too. And I think the dealers that would agree not to do it would find themselves inundated with extra business.
Can you read that one, Dad?
Pops, will you please say inconceivable? Did I say it correctly?
I think it did.
Yeah. That is incredibly inconceivable.
Michael says you have to do your due diligence before you purchase. I asked for the out the door price at 4 dealerships, and they were transparent, gave me the OTD. Amazing. Thank you for the information. Happy to hear that. Jay Nash, I searched and it worked. Thanks again for the site and providing your knowledge live and all the podcasts. Thanks for being here, Jeanette. Let's see here. We've got a thoughtful donation from Niels.
Thank you.
Yeah, I really appreciate the channel. Super informative and helpful information. Keep up the great content. Yeah, thanks for being here. We really appreciate it.
We try.
Raymond also echoing the same sentence. Ryan's got a question for you, Pops, as I find some more car questions that we can answer.
Okay. Which fancy pants hotel did you stay at in Vegas? We stayed at the Palazzo, and which is part of the Venetian Palazzo complex. And I will say this: it is a lovely hotel. It really is. It is by far and away not our favorite. Um, our because we talked about it at dinner both nights, that our favorite hotel and casino experience in Vegas is at the Wynn and Encore properties.
To be
Just
clear, though, we just can't afford to stay there.
well on really special occasions, but and there's so many fancy pants hotels in Vegas, but we got a pretty good deal at the Palazzo, and when we go back in February, I believe we'll be staying at the Bellagio. So we try them all.
We got a question here. Advice for someone with a lease coming due when the leasing company won't sell to a third party. This is, hey, we did good news, bad news earlier in the show, Pops. Bad news in 2022. That's the new normal, is you can no longer sell your leased car to a third party company. Can you give a quick overview of what it was before? Yeah, PC, pre-COVID and post-COVID?
Yeah. Well, prior to COVID, any of these lenders would just give the payoff to anybody. They didn't care as long as they got their money.
So you
Now
could sell to CarMax, you could sell to
yes,
Carvana, you could sell to whoever. They didn't care.
and now that there's a shortage of pre-owned cars, the captive lenders are requiring that only a branded dealer of that brand can actually pay off the car loan, other than the person that's leasing it. So even though you can't take it to Carvana and have them buy it initially, you can buy it yourself and then turn around and sell it to Carvana. But yes, this seems to be the new normal, where these captive lenders are doing their best to be able to provide their new car dealerships with quality pre-owned cars.
Now, Pops, we have a couple of things that I want to pull up on the screen. Craig asked again, are you sure you're not for hire? To which YNWA did Paggy said, everyone has a price. To which Jordan says, the $1 Million Man. So I don't know, Dad. Do you have a price?
Not any longer, no.
Come on, man wants to know where the listings link is. It is at joinyaa.com. Same with Raymond. Just go to joinyaa.com. And
it's the first thing you see, isn't it? When you
If you go to the website, which again, we're very proud of this. It's getting better. We're figuring things out. If you go to the website, you should see this.
This is the first. This is the home page these days.
You can search for a car, or you can get an extended warranty quote. Those are your two options. But then you can see all the nice stuff that Catherine made. Good job, Catherine. Thank you so much for doing this. Yeah, looks pretty. There we are. That's
yes. And that was the haircut.
This, man. 2 years.
Yeah, and that was the haircut that you wanted Peter to replicate.
Yes, indeed. I looked good in that photo. I gotta enjoy it.
Yeah, well, you also had a hair and makeup guy that day.
For sure. John B says, thank you for everything you do and all the great information you provide to everyone, Pops.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much, John.
All right, let me see. Douglas says, you two rock and somehow have made buying a car fun, or at least not dreadful. Congratulations. I'm looking for an 8-seater for my tour business. Fortunately, I can wait. Yeah, it's tough time to
because eight seaters, I think, sound kind of a lot like a van of some kind, and they have appreciated in value more than anything.
Yes, used vans are up like 60%, wasn't it?
It was 57%. 57%.
We've got the used car prices back on the website. My name is Gladiator says, well, you've been wrong about everything for the last 12 months. So there's that. And we own that, man. We own that. We absolutely own it.
We have never made an excuse for it. We have we have told you that we bought our crystal ball at a discount store, and everything in our crystal ball is partly cloudy. And every now and then, and it is only every now and then, do we get it right.
Yep. And trust me, I'm still mad. We probably should just buy a van at this point. We're starting to do car reviews next month. The first car review might be out the end of January. And I feel like, because you and I have watched Hoovie's Garage, that's a channel that I think we both admire what Tyler Hoover's built. Like, maybe we should just start buying vans, man. Because and that goes right directly back to my name is Gladiator's point. Yeah. If we had known van prices were going to go up 60%.
Yeah.
You'd be in a
Yeah.
different business, man. We totally would.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'd be living in different zip codes.
Shumpy says yes. Freddie says yes. Adosa says yes. Matthew says yes. J Nash says yes. Yes. Okay, so I'm pretty sure, and this was all in response to, I imagine, that question that I had asked about if we could weed out dealers who just sell at MSRP versus dealers who are adding all sorts of extra stuff. Of course, that's a great idea, and show what their doc fee is, definitely. Okay, yeah, I will snip this part of tonight's stream and share it with the team and be like, hey, this might be a good idea. We should consider this.
Yes, absolutely.
Pops, can you take a second to explain what the Monroney label in law is?
Well, it is a law that was passed and brought to the floor by a congressman named Monroney. Hence, it's the Monroney label. And what it required was that the manufacturers place on every vehicle, new vehicle being sold in this country, a label with the VIN number, color, interior, a listing of the base price and any manufacturer accessories or packages, and the total price, including destination and handling. And it is required by law to be displayed on any new vehicle and any new car dealership's inventory. If you find a car without one, that is a violation of the law. I believe it's a $10,000 or $11,000 fine. And I know in cases like at the mini store with convertibles, they always put the Monroney label on the passenger side window. Well, you couldn't see to your right when you were driving, so we had to peel them off and we would laminate them and we would keep them in the glove box so that there would be a Monroney label for every car.
Yep. Well said, Pops. I also just pulled it up on the screen, and I will do it again here for a second. If you go to the website, you go to resources, you go to blog, there is then a search bar here. Just type in Monroney. You're going to see we have that article right there that you can click on. Also, I saw in the chat here, someone was asking, can you help me with my car deal? We absolutely can. If you go to resources and then forum, the community forum has grown so much. We launched that back in July, and it's pretty incredible how active it is. If you're a premium member, there's the Review My Deal channels. If you're not a premium member, toss it in one of the other channels. And if one of our team members can help you, they'll help you. But the Review My Deal channel is pretty active. There have been over 500 car deals. Like, I'm not making that up. I didn't know that. That's awesome. Holy cow, Dad.
Yeah.
That's incredible. There's been over 500 car deals analyzed here by the YAA community. You can get help. How many leases? 180 leases that we've reviewed. So if you need help with a car deal, even in this market, use the listing, search for cars, then come back in here and get some.
And even if you just hit the general channel, you might be able to find some useful information.
We're humans. We want to help. Like, I literally took a phone call today. Someone scheduled it. I've been texting with them. Like, if we can help, we want to help. That's the name of the game.
Pretty much the way it works.
Nice.
Thank you, Douglas Ross. And Douglas, can I ask you a question? And you can take your time to answer, but how difficult is it to go through life with two first names?
Well said, Dad. Well
I'm
said.
just curious.
People are making some suggestions for folks that we should have on the show.
Okay.
Homer, Savage Geese. It'd be interesting to get some other folks on the show. We've had on the show, like Marco Whiteboard Finance came on, Alex Prestigiacomo, the Car Mom was on our show. We should get some more people lined up. That's kind of on me to figure it out.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, interesting. TFL. I actually reached out to them. And like I asked them if we could sponsor a video, and they said maybe next year. So fingers crossed that comes together. The reason that we got in touch though more recently is I posted a TikTok that got a couple million views, and evidently it was like a photo that they had sourced. So when I reached out to them, I was talking like their marketing guy, and he was nice, but like wasn't going anywhere. I didn't know that I posted their photo. Someone just sent it to me, so I put it on TikTok. That's like my job. And I got an email from the gentleman that owns TFL. And I was like, oh, great. I was trying to contact you this whole time. All it took was me using your photo without your permission. Anyway, we'll see.
What is TFL?
The Fast Lane. They have
all
sorts of YouTube channels, websites. They're good. They make really, really good content. Yeah.
Very cool.
Okay. Megan says, help more people find this good content by liking the video. Thank you.
Yes.
Let's see, Pops. I'm trying to find more. Yeah, Megan says almost 600 viewers, and Jordan was probably here on a thousand viewer night. That's pretty cool when
Yes.
that happened.
Yes. Yes, it
All right.
was.
There we go. I'm caught up on the chat. Here we go, though. Great question. Simply Vincent, how to bargain between the end of the year here, Dad? What do you think?
I don't think the bargains are going to be as great as they've been in the past, because most of the manufacturers no longer are giving goals to their dealerships because they can't provide them with the cars so that they can hit the goals. But that doesn't mean that the dealerships themselves don't have some goals that they've set for the dealership or for their sales staff. So the closer you get to the 31st, the greater the likelihood that if they're just a few vehicles away from whatever that goal might be, that you might be able to get them to discount when in the past they might not have. So it should be the time of year where you should expect something. I will tell you that is historically the busiest week for every dealership, is the week between Christmas and New Year's. And when dealerships get caught in a frenzy like that, and the customers get caught in a frenzy like that, oftentimes things happen that wouldn't have happened normally. So, if they're close, you might be able to push them for some type of significant savings.
Got a couple questions that are really great that are
It
right
it
here.
it would not be inconceivable
Mhm.
to I think somebody asked me to use that in a sentence or say it. It would not be inconceivable to get a slightly larger discount the last week of the year.
Let's hit on this really quick from Ricky Pops. I've heard prices on websites like Car Gurus and etc., like cars.com, Auto Trader, etc., are not accurate. Any thoughts on that? I actually, we're going to film on Monday, Dad. I want to actually film a video on this topic for next week. Can you touch on prices that show up on internet listings? And then let's explain how those websites make money and why it's a little bit different from how we've structured
Well,
GoandBuy.com.
what dealerships have learned is that you have to have the lowest or the most competitive prices to get click-throughs to your website for the people to actually look at the vehicle.
And it's like we all freaking know that it's fake too. To begin
Yes,
with. Yeah.
yes, and so you'd have to look at the finer fine print somewhere buried deep in the dark recesses of the bottom of the listing, where it might say does not include the destination and handling, which is nonsense because it's a pre-owned car, or even if it's a new car. It might say plus reconditioning and any number of other charges. But the reason they use a price that is lower is to get somebody to click on it. And typically the internet price is not the actual price that they will sell the vehicle for. It is a bait and switch come on price to get you to click. Now, when you talk about Car Gurus and Auto Trader and all these others, what they are is they will show the listings, they will sell the dealerships sponsorship programs so that they can get listed on the first page or the second page or at the very top of the page. So they sell dealerships on this concept of sponsorship so that they can collect money that way. They also have lead generation forms for the dealerships, so they charge the dealers for that. Which
And
is
let's pull this up really quick. Thank you for
okay.
answering that, Pops. Also, I did add the ticker down at the bottom.
Oh,
'Cause
I
someone
like
said
that.
the
Yeah, I
ticker.
feel like I'm watching ESPN all of a sudden.
So let's do a quick comparison here. Car Gurus, which I got to tell you, I sat in on. It was back in September. Car Gurus Innovate. It's like their annual conference.
Yeah.
Oh my God, man. It made me so happy that we're doing what they're doing because their CEO was talking about how we are here to serve our customers. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, yeah, the
Yep.
consumer, the buyer. And he's like, we are committed to our dealer partners to maximize your profit. I'm just
Yeah, well, that's their customers. Their
let's
customers are the dealers. Their
let's do this.
customers are not the customer.
So I'm searching for a Chevy Equinox near me. Oh my God, wait a second. Who the hell is that?
Oh, that's Jack.
is terrible.
That's Jackie
Sponsored.
Antwerpen. Come on.
Sponsored. Okay, no longer sponsored. Okay. Ad. No more sponsored on this one, though. That's good. That's good. That's good. Let me click on one. The way they make money were those sponsored ones up above.
Yes.
And this right here. If I start sending messages, that's how the dealership, buys
Yeah,
their
because you have
buys
to
their
fill.
pack.
Yeah, you have to fill in all your information.
Ads. It's got to be some more ads. Where are the ads? There's no more ads. They should put more ads down at the bottom. Honestly,
They
if I were them,
probably
I'd
will.
put more ads.
Yeah.
Join YAA. What was that? A Chevrolet Equinox?
Yeah. Let's see
Search.
yeah.
We want used because that's what I searched on Car Gurus.
Yeah.
Where are the ads, Dad?
There's no ads. There's no sponsors. There's no.
You know how much time I want you to I want everyone on the stream to. You see those bars we put there? That bar up there that tells you how long the car's been on the market, and that bar right there.
Yeah.
We spent so much time. Catherine, God bless you, came up with this design just to freaking block, so that when you search on our site, we block out that. We block out Jack. Like that was an intentional design decision to get rid of Jack. Because who the hell wants to look at it? We just want to look at the car. There's the car. Let's see how many lead gen forms when I click on to view the vehicle. Here's the vehicle. How many lead gen forms do you see, Dad? How many ads do you see?
Well, I see ads from us.
What website shows you?
I see ads for
price?
us that say, "Hey, click on the 4-step buying guide."
Yeah, that's
free.
Our ad.
That's free.
The price is higher. Damn it! Like we are committed to doing this in a way that like is so bass backwards because it actually puts the right information in front of you at the right time. Here's what you're actually going to pay. Here's what you should negotiate if it shows up on your deal. They try and sell you the service contract, the extended warranty. They're trying to give you crazy prices. Here's what it should actually cost. Our markup's still $500. So like, there you go. You know what the cost is. Here's what the market conditions are. This one's been on the lot for 14 days. Here's what all the pricing history has been. Here's the supply. There's a ton of them out in the market right now in the 500-mile radius. Here's the day's supply. Here's how many have sold. Anyway, very proud of how we designed this because there's no jack. Okay, we also don't have pop-ups, at least not yet. I don't know. That was kind of obnoxious at that. So anyway, that's a little bit of a listings rant, but I wanted to make sure everyone saw that.
I'm glad you got your rant in.
Recommendation: should we buy a car now or wait till when?
I didn't. This
raffle dinner with Pops.
Oh my God! Well, it depends on the restaurant. But should you buy a car or wait? If you absolutely positively need a car, then buy a car now. If you absolutely positively can wait, then it makes sense to wait as long as you can.
Yep. Okay, Pops. I know I've kept you longer than normal, but we just got our sports ticker going, so I wanted to make sure that's.
Yeah, I like that. That is so cool.
Ticker is out of frame. That's a shame. Well, we'll have to work on that for next time.
Yeah.
It's another Saturday night well spent with you. I got one final thing to show you, which was before we hopped on. So we were trying to get to 100 people on the website at once. Up to 48 though. That's pretty cool. The other thing we track is how many people have like searched. Okay.
Yeah.
So this was before the show today. 349 people had searched. What do you think it's up to, Dad, after the show?
482.
I'm gonna go 521. What should we next dinner? Whoever gets
I end up paying. What the hell are you talking about?
569. Nice.
Wow. That's pretty
cool.
Good.
That's pretty cool. That's awesome. Well, thank you everyone for checking out the new product that we launched. We're pretty excited about that. And we're really hoping that it helps some people. I'll talk to the team about finding a way to, like, if we contact dealerships and if they sell at MSRP, like, let's put a star on it or something. I don't know.
Yeah, that would be a great to do.
Yeah, really, really would. Any parting shots from you, Pops?
No, I'm kind of pooped out tonight.
All right, well, go get some rest.
I did have to drive home, so
What'd you have for dinner?
A half of a tuna and cheese sub from Dino's.
That's why you're pooped out, man. I ate all this chocolate. Everyone's sending us holiday presents. I've been eating chocolate all night.
Yeah, you're right. That half a sub, yeah.
chocolate.
me.
There's just chocolate. Yeah, it's like the sugar and the carbs. I think they tire you because I was tired at
Yeah,
the beginning of the show too.
yeah, yeah. I can't wait to get some more water.
Okay,
And
go
then,
get water. Go get water.
yeah, you do that too.
Well, I got my water right here.
Yeah, okay.
All right.
Yeah, hit the end broadcast button.
Oh, I already did. We're
No,
done.
you didn't. Even I know how it works. I did it yesterday.
Good night, everyone. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, everybody. We'll see you. I don't know if we'll see you next week. It's Christmas. So if we're not going to see you next Saturday night, but maybe you want to spend Christmas night with us, maybe.
My girlfriend's out of town, Dad, so I'm game.
Oh, my God. Okay.
We'll
Yeah,
see.
we'll see.
Night, everyone.
Bye-bye now.